This recording is going to be a little bit different. I am actually recording this class after the live class happened because I must have forgotten to hit record because the class did not record. So I am coming back now and recording for you just this one little class. So it's just me and you today. So the lesson today is on the hard versus the soft C. Our phonemic awareness warm-up begins with the sounds. How many sounds do you hear in rocket? Rocket. Second, count how many sounds in rocket. There is R, ah, sounds in rocket. That CK is a digraph that says, so there are three graphemes that say K. There's the C, K, and the CK. They all say just air, no voice. The digraph CK will always, you can count on this, always 100% of the time come right after a short vowel sound. So when you're reading and when you come to a CK, you can count on that vowel right before it being its short sound, as in rocket. So there are 5 sounds in rocket. How many sounds in sweater? Sweater. There are also 5 sounds in sweater. S, w, e, t, and There are 7 letters in sweater, but only 5 sounds. The EA, it's making the eh sound. EA typically makes one of 3 sounds. It can sound like E as in eat. It can sound in eh as in sweater, or it can sound in A as in great. It also is in heart and heart-related words, but those are the 3 most common. And then that ER grapheme at the end of sweater just says the sound. So sweater has 5 sounds. How many sounds in toast? Toast. So toast has 4 sounds. O, S. Toast has 4 sounds. That OA is making 1 sound. It's a grapheme that says O, as in coat and oat. Toast has 4 sounds. O, S, toast, 4 sounds. So hopefully you did okay on those. Coming down to our new rule for the day. So C has 2 sounds. Its hard sound is made with the back of your tongue kicking against the back of your mouth or the top of your throat. And it will sound like our phonemic awareness warm-up. Its soft sound is the same sound that an S would make. So the hard sound, you can kind of feel that stop. That's how you can know the difference between the hard sound and the soft sound. The hard sound, there's a hard stop. Soft sound, it's more sustainable, continuous, flowy. So you can know what sound that C is going to make. You don't have to wonder or guess. It's always going to make its hard sound, unless one of 3 letters is after it, an E, I, or Y. Those 3 letters you're going to want to remember. E, I, Y, they're all vowels. So I was teaching my little ones, we have a little chant. We go, not even a chant, it's more of just kind of a rhythm. E, I, Y. We talk about the name of the shape of our mouth when we make those sounds to help us remember it. E, I, Y. If one of those 3 letters comes right after a C, has to be the very next letter, then that C makes its soft sound. If any other letter comes after the C, it's going to make its hard sound. So C is going to say K almost always. If the very next letter is an E, I, or Y, that's the only time it's going to make its soft sound. So if we practiced that new skill on these nonsense words, let me get my pen out, we would be able to determine the sound of the C just by looking at the next letter. So this C is going to make its hard sound because that is not an E, I, or Y. This O is going to make its short sound ah because the next two letters are consonants. And this O is going to make its long sound O because O's at the end always say O. So this word is ah, O, apo, apo. So go ahead and try yours over here. So this C is also going to make its hard sound because of the next letter. It's not an E, I, or Y. That O is going to make its short sound because the next two letters are consonants. And that last O always, O's at the end always say O. So this word is ah, t, o, auto, auto. Okay, so far so good. This C is also going to make its hard sound down here on number 2. The O is going to make its short sound because the next two letters are consonants. Now look at this C. This one has the Y after it. So this C is going to sound like an S. And Y's at the end of a multisyllable word usually sound like a long E, like happy, candy, taffy. Y's at the end of a multisyllable word usually say E. They can sometimes say I, like multiply or satisfy, but usually they're going to say E. Y's at the end of short words say I, like my, cry, try, buy, shy. But in multisyllable words, it usually says E. So when we pencil read this word, we have E, croncy. Let's try your number 2 here. So this C is also going to make its hard sound because the next letter is not an E, I, or Y. Are you starting to hear that rhythm or the way that E, I, Y sounds? So hopefully it'll begin to be part of your long-term memory soon. E, I, Y. Just hopefully it'll begin to sound like a unit soon so you can remember. So this is k, o, a, n, b, e. Lawn bee. Make sure that your tongue goes to the top of your mouth and stays there on this sound. It's not na, it's your tongue has to stay to the top of your mouth. So that word is quanbee, quanbee, quanbee. Okay, number 3, I see that this C has an E after it, so it's going to make it soft sound. This E has a vowel 1 or 2 doors down, so it's going to make its long sound. Now, I's in the middle, say I. They make their short sound. If I is in the middle syllable, it's going to make it short sound I. And O's at the end say O. So, as in the word so. So this word says S, E, O, I, O. I'm going to go one letter at a time. C, seal, seal it, seal lip, seal lipo, seal lipo, seal lipo. You're number 3. Here, I'll be quiet while you work. So be careful of this TR, that you pronounce it intentionally so it doesn't turn into a tro, or like you might say tree or train. We want it to sound like the T and the R are there for a reason. And we want to hear each of those sounds. Tro. This C is going to make it soft sound because there's an I after it. This I is going to make its long sound because one of the next two letters is another vowel. I's in the middle almost always say I. That's why those two I's say two different things. It's because of where they are in the word. An I in the middle syllable will say I, and O's at the end say O. So this word is I, I, T, R, O. Going one sound at a time. Sigh, Sime, Simit, Simitter, Simitro, Simitro, Simitro. Okay, last one, number 4. We have a soft C because of that E after it. E, I, and Y are the magic letters. They make the C, make it soft sound. FYI, they also make the G, make its soft sound, which you're going to learn next lesson. It's the same rule for C and G. They both have a hard and soft sound, and the sound is determined by these 3 letters being right after it. So here we have this E is going to make its long sound because there's another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. This E is going to make its short sound because there is no vowel 1 or 2 doors down. This Y is going to make its the long E sound because Y's at the end of multisyllable words usually make the long E sound. So when we pencil read this word, we have S, E, O, S, T, R, E. One sound at a time. C, seal, seale, sealess, sealest, sealester, sealestry, sealestry, sealestry. Okay, you're number 4. Go ahead. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm aware of those 2 sounds so I pronounce them good, pronounce them well. So the sounds are S, E, M, P, E, S, T, R, E. There's a lot there, so I'm going to go one at a time. Se. I know that says E because the next 2 letters are consonants. Same with this one. The next 2 letters are consonants, so it's going to say E. Se, sem, semp, sempe, sempes, sempest, sempester, sempestry, sempestry. That one's a hard one. Sempestry. Look at that one. And when you look at it and say it, make sure that your eye and your pencil, when you're pencil reading, are being lined up so that your mouth is pronouncing and your hand is pointing to and your eye is looking at. 3 senses right there are being used at the same time. Make sure they're all looking at the sound that you are pronouncing. Don't let your pencil get ahead or your eye get ahead and your voice trail behind. Make sure it's all lined up so that your brain can begin to line up every grapheme with its proper sound in the right order. That's super important. All right, so the rest will be for you to do as extra practice. Just remember the sound of the C is what we're working on. Like here's one here at the end that has the I after it. So this last part is going to say sim. This word is going to say cronstissim. Whoo, that's a doozy. Cronstissim is number 7 on the extra practice. Cronstissim. Ooh. And then number 8 is also hard. It's coptricity. Coptricity. So those are doozies for you, but I'll have those answers for you when you come to the next class. All right, guys. See you next time.